Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make vegan Senegalese yassa. This is one of my favorite ways of preparing tofu and I hope you guys can try it out. So here are the ingredients I'm going to be using. These are pretty easy and simple ingredients that you can find in your pantry. You don't need to get something special. The most important thing is that you have some mustard, aromatics, pepper, some extra firm tofu as the protein source, lemon, and a lot of onions. So I'm going to be starting off by making the marinade. You can find the full recipe and instructions on my blog, which I will link below. So yeah, Senegalese tofu yassa. I actually heard about this recipe from a Bon Appetit video that I watched maybe 2 years ago. As a Ghanaian food blogger, it's very easy for me to get stuck in Ghanaian food and in this bubble of just Ghanaian and potentially Nigerian food. So I really wanted to challenge myself to try different foods from different parts of West Africa. We have very similar foods, but a lot of differences too. We don't really cook with a lot of acidity in Ghanaian food. So this was definitely a different flavor profile for me, but I was definitely interested to try it out. So after making my marinade, I'm going to be covering this for at least 30 minutes so that all the flavors can work together. Once I've put it all in the fridge, I'm going to be caramelizing my onions. I'm caramelizing them in peanut oil that I skimmed off my peanut butter. I usually keep this and it really adds a nice flavor, and peanut oil is used a lot in West Africa. So I'm just going to add in my onions, coat it very well with the peanut oil, and then cover it and let it do its thing for about 30 minutes. I'm going to cover it at low heat and just let it caramelize. You don't want to touch it so that it gets nice and sweet. So I'm going to be frying the tofu in a cast iron. Senegalese yassa is usually made with chicken or fish, and the chicken is usually grilled, but I don't have a grill, so the cast iron was the best option. And obviously keeping it plant-based, I'm using tofu. So people might have questions about, I'm using acid in my cast iron, but this is well seasoned, so there was no concern of the iron leaching into my tofu. I'm just going to keep checking on it, making sure that I get all sides to be nice and brown and crispy. Keep adding in some tofu as the space clears up, and then flipping it with some chopsticks because I find that those are easier to work with the tofu. So once everything is nice and cooking, browning, just keep doing it till all the tofu cubes and sticks that you have done have been nice and brown. So now it's time to combine everything. So my onions have been caramelizing. I waited a little bit too long, so the bottom started to get really dark, but no worries, it's not burnt. It's just all the sugars releasing from the onions. I'm gonna mix that all very well, and then I'm going to start layering in my tofu. The most important thing is that just to make sure that the tofu doesn't break up. So I'm just gonna keep layering it in on top of the onions, keeping the heat low so that nothing is burning or the onions are not getting crispy at the bottom. And so once I have laid in all of my tofu, I'm just gonna add in the marinade as well as a little bit of water just so that it becomes nice and saucy. I'm gonna make sure that the liquid is getting everywhere, then add in my Scotch bonnet pepper and my bay leaves for some extra flavor and heat. If you don't have Scotch bonnet pepper, you can use cayenne or habanero, and or you can just omit it if you just don't like heat. I removed the seeds because I didn't want it to be too spicy because I was just making it for myself, but again, you can adjust the spiciness to whatever you want. And I'm gonna let this simmer for about 10 minutes till everything is nice and cooked, and that's pretty much it. This is so delicious. I know the mustard and the lemon can seem very acidic, but the sweetness of the onions really come through and you get a really nice and balanced sauce. So that's pretty much it. Now I'm going to be serving this with my carb of choice. I had some brown rice left over that I served the sauce with, and some greens, and that's pretty much it. You can keep this in the fridge. It won't go bad for about a week, and yeah, I hope you guys can try this recipe out. Let me know what you think, and definitely check out my blog post. I get a lot more details about Senegalese food, the whole process of this, and how I learned how to make this recipe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!